Tonight, we're going to rock civilization.
And the underworld at KBER.com. Utah's Rock Authority. We are the mighty KBER 101. I'm the good Reverend Helmut von Schmidt. He is one named co-host McNeil. They are Parascientific Discovery, and this is the Salt Lake Soundcheck, your local music show.
Yay!
Whoa!
I'm back. We're back. I'm back. They're back.
They're back. Everyone's back. It is time for the big reveal. And I've kind of kept myself in the dark a little bit, too, just so this would be extra cool tonight for me. You know, I've hit y'all once or twice saying, all right, what'd we find? But, anything cool, but never got anything specific to recap those who don't know what the hell's going on.
Like me.
Last week, of course, McNeil was out. He was off doing something else. Mm-hmm. That wasn't nearly as cool as what we were doing. We actually did a ghost investigation here at Cumulus Media, the KBER studios, and with Parascientific Discovery, who joins us once again in studio. So.
Hey, thanks for having us in. It was a really cool investigation. We had some pretty good personal experiences. We were able to get some documented evidence of some stuff that happened that night. And you were actually present, so you were, there was no manipulation with anything. You were there when it was gathered, and
we actually, went through, and Jimbo, who was around, helped us out too. That. We got into all the offices and studios and turned everything off and all the sound down, so we knew that there wouldn't be any kind of ambient noise that could be mistaken as something else.
Right, so. And I'm sure the spirits really appreciated Jimbo for doing that, because it looks like they came and said something specific to him. That's pretty interesting.
Yes. By the way, I know Jimbo's in his office. Jimbo, you can't leave before the end of the show. That's all I'm going to say. You can't leave before the end of the show. In a little bit, we're going to bring you in and play you some stuff that... we'll play you some stuff. We'll just leave it at that. By the way, I just want to, before I forget, we kicked off the show with the Anchorage and their cover of Dead Man's Party, because it seemed very apropos.
Yeah, very fitting. Very fitting.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so I guess we start with the B98.7 studio.
Right, so as you said, that was the oldest running studio in the building, right?
Yeah, and this building's been housing radio for, 40, 50 years, somewhere in that neighborhood, and I'm almost positive that's the oldest studio in the building. Back in the days, KCPX and all that stuff. So we started there, and I started with you. We kind of split up into a couple of groups, but I was with you and a few other people in the B studio.
Right, it was Dallin and Gary that were in the B studio. And just right off the bat, it felt pretty normal in there. Nothing really odd was going on, but we had equipment problems going on. Batteries were dying. Cameras were shutting off. Yeah. We had cameras shutting off on their own. We didn't understand what was going on. We had a disc.
It was empty when we started filming. Filled up in about 2 seconds.
Yeah,
we had no idea.
So we were having some pretty interesting stuff going on. And when we had the disc problem going on, we captured something. But one of the things that we captured, if you want to play, was pretty interesting. It was actually your very first investigation you've ever done, and then on top of that, we were able to capture a pretty good EVP in there, and we amplified it a little bit so you can hear.
And explain what the EVP is.
It's an electronic,
for those who don't know.
Right, it's electronic voice phenomenon. So basically, what it is spirits can manipulate frequencies to be able to speak real time to our questions using radio frequencies or white noise, and so. As we're sitting there asking questions, we get responses. Sometimes we can hear them, and sometimes we can only hear them through the frequencies that are gathered through, and then we listen to the digital recording and we hear it. So,
all right. So here's the first EVP captured of the evening. Uh-oh.
What?
Live radio, folks. Kick ass.
You want to take a song and then we'll come back?
Yeah, we're gonna play a song, mess around with this, see if we can get this thing to work. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Right now, some music from Downright Blue. It's called Black and Blue. The Salt Lake Soundcheck, your local music show on KBER 101. Downright Blue, Black and Blue, KBER 101, the Salt Lake Soundcheck, your local music show. Helmut McNeil, Parascientific Discovery. And all right, we think we got this worked out here. So once again, let's recap. This was in the B98.7 studio, which is 2 doors down from us.
Right, and ironically, just like tonight, we were having technical difficulties with all of our equipment, batteries dying, things of that nature. and we captured this EVP while we were in there.
All right. That didn't feel good at all.
So it's really faint, but you can hear it. It says, "Can you help me?" Listen to it again.
Oh, wow.
It's there. It's there.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there. One more time.
Right.
That is creepy.
Now that, like I said, we've heard stories that there's a girl here with long brown hair that's been seen here, and she's also been heard whispering. And like Jimbo was saying last week, and that really sounds like a female voice asking for help.
That is creepy.
Yeah.
Was that in response to any specific question, or was that just kind of caught in some of the recording?
Yeah, it was just caught in between us kind of shifting around in the room and moving our equipment around a little bit, and then it just kind of kicked through, And a lot of times we've noticed that, like, we'll capture evidence when we're just kind of just all sitting around chatting about nothing, not even really trying to talk to the spirits, and they'll chime in and say something in between. Happens a lot, so it's pretty interesting.
Let's talk some more about what we experienced in there, because we spent probably an hour in there to kind of kick it off, and talk about the K2 meter and what that does, and then we can talk about the experience we had with that.
Okay, so the K2 meter is a meter that measures electromagnetic frequency. And how we know that there's a high presence of electromagnetic frequency, the lights will light up indicating how many milligauss of EMF is actually emitting in that area. So the more lights that light up, the more EMF is present, which gives us an idea that there's a spirit that's close, in a close proximity to us. And we were asking questions, and it was responding. I mean, you saw it yourself. We would ask questions, and it would respond to our yes or no questions.
Yeah, and how we did that is first you get a baseline, what you call it, where you go around the room with it to make sure that you're not just randomly catching some stuff off some equipment, or something like that.
Exactly. So every time we go into a place and we're going to conduct a K2 session, we make sure that we get a baseline of the entire room, so we know that if we do get these fluctuations, that it's something odd. One of the other things that we experienced that you also actually brought to our attention while we were in there is the fact that one of the screensavers.
Yeah, one of the there's two computers in the B studio, and both of them had gone into sleep mode because obviously no one had been around for several hours. Mm-hmm. And not long after we went in there, one of them randomly came out of sleep mode. I mean, like something had bumped a mouse or something, and it wasn't any of us.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, that was definitely interesting. And also, when those things were happening, when we would get the K2 hits, or when we would get, the thing that happened with the screensaver, we were also experiencing sensations of cold that would come in and kind of blast every once in a while. And they would be in odd places, like you would feel it, in the small of your back or on your shoulder. All of a sudden you'd feel this coldness, and it was kind of moving around, which is odd. Never experienced something quite like that, to actually feel the presence of that cold just kind of sticking on your body. And it's pretty interesting when you get evidence that coincides with those type of sensations happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any more EVPs from the B studio?
Yeah, we actually got one. Let's see. Where did you go?
All right, here's another EVP from the B studio.
80-minute disc. Right after you hear me say 80-minute disc, you hear really quick somebody say, "Where did you go?"
Okay.
80-minute disc. It's kind of whispering. It's like a male voice whispering, "Where did you go?" 80-minute disc. Right on the end.
Yeah.
It's real fast. And see, once again, that was in between us just kind of talking about the fact that disc was full when we just barely put it in. We were having equipment problems. And then all of a sudden we get that quick EVP come in, almost like it was drawing energy real quick, and it was malfunctioning our equipment just to cut through real quick and say that, which is interesting. 80-minute disc. Yeah. It's like, where did you go?
It's barely there,
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to play another song here real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll move on to some more EVPs and some other experiences from the investigation, the ghost investigation done here with myself and also Parascientific Discovery, who joins us in studio. Right now, it's some music out of O-Town from Of the Buffalo. This is Dying Day. Just seemed apropos. The Salt Lake Soundcheck, your local music show on KBER 101.